You know what nobody tells you about moving to Australia? That you'll realize America has been gaslighting you your entire life. And today, I'm going to prove it. When I told my family I was moving to Australia, they literally asked if I'd have real hospitals, if people still rode kangaroos to work, if I'd have to learn a new language. But after 3 years here, I've discovered something that's going to piss off half of you. Those backwards Australian things we mock? They're not backwards. We are. I've got 8 examples that'll make you question everything. And number 1, it literally gave me my life back. Plus, stick around. I'm not just dunking on America. There's a bigger point here about what we can learn, not what we should blindly copy. But first, let's talk about how I accidentally saved $4,000 last year. Number 8, no tipping. And before the servers in the comments destroy me, actually listen. Yes, meals cost about 20% more here. A burger that's $12 in the US is $15 here. But here's what Americans don't calculate. That $12 American burger, add 8% sales tax, $12.96. Add 20% tip, $15.55. The $15 Australian burger, that's it, $15, tax included. No tip, no mental math, no guilting yourself over percentages. Why? Because minimum wage here is 24,010 TNs an hour as of 2025. Servers make 24,010, not 2013, plus hoping Karen feels generous. $24. Guaranteed. Last week I tried to tip my server. She looked confused and said, "Mate, I make $27 an hour. I'm good. I'm good." When's the last time you heard an American server say that? I tracked my spending. First year in Australia, $4,000 less on dining out than my last year in Chicago. Same number of meals. No tipping culture. We've been brainwashed into subsidizing billion-dollar restaurant chains who won't pay living wages, and we call it supporting servers. Servers here call it what it actually is, exploitation with extra steps. Number 7, that economy-destroying minimum wage. $24 under 10 per hour. For everyone. The barista making my coffee, the person stocking shelves, the parking attendant, $24 to 10. Federal minimum wage in America, still $7.25. It hasn't changed since 2009. That's 16 years of the same wage while rent tripled. The guy who makes my morning flat white, his name's Tom. He's 23. Last month, he bought an apartment. An apartment. On a barista salary. I'm not kidding. Here's the listing. 1 bedroom in Western Sydney, $420,000. He saved the deposit in 3 years making coffee. When's the last time you heard of an American barista buying property? They're living with 3 roommates arguing over who ate whose yogurt. It'll destroy small business. Right. Australia's had continuous economic growth for 32 years. Longest streak in the developed world. No recession since 1991. Businesses are thriving. People can afford to actually buy things. It's almost like paying workers creates customers. Wild concept. We've been sold a lie that poverty wages are necessary for capitalism. Australia proved that's bullshit. The only thing that died here was the excuse. Number 6, Medicare for all. Or as Americans call it, socialism that'll never work. 3 months ago, I got rushed to emerge severe abdominal pain, thought it was appendicitis. CT scan, ultrasound, overnight observation, IV medications, specialist consultation. Total cost, $0, $0. This isn't even a bill, it's a discharge summary. There is no bill. My buddy Jake in Colorado, same symptoms last year. His bill, $43,000, $43,000 for one night. But sure, their socialist medicine is the problem. Here's what really broke me. I met an American expat named Derek at a barbecue. Type 1 diabetic. You know what he does? Flies back to the US every 4 months to stockpile insulin. Round trip to LA, $800. 3 months of insulin in Australia with no Medicare, $2,100. In the US, with his insurance, $90. He literally commutes internationally for medication because our system is so broken that a $1,600 flight is cheaper than paying Australian prices without coverage. Life expectancy in Australia, 83.8 years. America, 76.4 years. They live 7 years longer with their backwards healthcare. This card gives every Australian healthcare. We have GoFundMe campaigns for chemotherapy. Who's living in the dark ages? Number 5. The thing that changed my entire life. Actual work-life balance. It's 5:03 p.m. on a Wednesday. Watch this office building. Everyone's leaving. Not sneaking out. Not quite quitting. Just leaving. Because the workday is over. 4 weeks paid vacation. Minimum. By law. Plus 11 public holidays. Plus 10 sick days that actually roll over. America, 0 days federally mandated. We're the only developed nation without required paid leave. The only one. This is me in 2022 in New York. Notice the bags under my eyes? The stress eating weight? I was answering emails at 11 p.m, working Saturdays, taking urgent calls during my mum's birthday dinner. This is me now. I haven't answered a work email on a weekend in 3 years. My American friends think I'm unemployed. My best friend Marcus texted me last Tuesday at 11:47 p.m. his time. Still at the office. It was his anniversary. I'd been at the beach since 5 p.m. That's when it hit me. We're not living the same species of life. My co-worker James took 4 months paid leave when his daughter was born. His job was protected. His career didn't suffer. He came back to a promotion. My sister in Atlanta went back to work 3 weeks after giving birth because she'd burned through her sick days and couldn't afford unpaid leave. But productivity. Australia's GDP per hour worked matches America's. We just don't waste 40 hours pretending to look busy. You want to know what's really backwards? Believing that life is about work instead of work funding your life. They work to live. We live to work. And we call them back. If you're still watching, you're either Australian and nodding or American and furious. Good. Because the next 3 are going to make you question everything you thought you knew about freedom. Starting with the one that could literally save your kid's life. Number 4. And this is where I'll lose half of you. Look, I grew up around guns. My dad took me hunting. I shot my first deer at 14. I'm not anti-Second Amendment. But let me tell you what happened here. 26. Port Arthur Massacre. People dead, including children. Australia looked at that and said, never again, and actually meant it. They banned semi-automatic weapons, mandatory buyback program, strict licensing, waiting periods, mass shootings before 1996, 13 in 18 years. Mass shootings since 1996, 0. 0 in 29 years. America in 2025, we've had 647 mass shootings this year. It's November. You know what Australian kids don't do? Active shooter drills. My friend's 8-year-old daughter asked me what those were. I had to explain that American children practice hiding from guns. She cried. Not because she was scared, because she felt bad for American kids. I don't check for exits in movie theaters here. I don't worry when I hear fireworks. That constant, low-level terror Americans live with, wondering if today's the day, it doesn't exist here. I'm not saying take everyone's gun. I'm saying Australia chose children over unrestricted access to military-grade weapons, and it worked. We've had 67 school shootings in 2025. They've had 0 in 3 decades. If prioritising kids over guns is backwards, then yeah, backwards is better. And before the comments explode, you can still own guns here. You just need a license, a reason, and a safe. Like cars, or explosives, or every other dangerous thing we already regulate. Number 3, mandatory voting on Saturdays. And yes, Americans, I know what you're thinking. Mandatory? What about freedom? Australian voter turnout 93% in 2025. American turnout, 67% in 2024. But here's the real backwards part. They vote on Saturday, not Tuesday, Saturday. When normal people aren't at work, they even have democracy sausages, free baby queues at polling places. You vote, you get a sausage and a drink. It's like a democracy party. Meanwhile, we vote on a random Tuesday, a tradition from 1845 when farmers needed a travel day after Sunday church. We're using 200-year-old logic designed for horse and buggy. Don't vote here? $93 fine. That's it. And you know what that creates? Everyone participates. The government actually represents everyone, not just people who can afford to take time off work. Rich people, poor people, young people, old people. Everyone's here. No 6-hour lines in poor neighbourhoods. No voter suppression. Just democracy. We claim to be freedom's greatest defender, but we've made voting as inconvenient as possible. They made it mandatory and easy. Who's really free? Number 2, writing dates day, month by year instead of our chaotic month, day, year. This one almost got me fired. Boss texted, meeting on 6/7, I showed up June 7th. She meant July 6th. But here's the thing. Their way actually makes logical sense. It goes small to big. Day, month, year, progressive order. What do we do? Month, day, year. Medium, small, big. It's like writing time as minute, hour, second. Chaos. You know what's embarrassing? We're literally the only major country that does this. Even Americans are confused by Americans. The most American holiday ever? 4th of July. We literally say the day first for our most patriotic celebration. I've missed doctor appointments, birthday parties, and a flight because of this. The entire rest of the world thinks we're insane. This is the one where we have zero excuse. It's objectively worse. We're just stubborn. Number 1, the metric system. Yeah, I saved the nerdiest one for the last, but hear me out. Americans love freedom units, right? Where a foot is 12 inches, a yard is 3 feet, a mile is 5,280 feet. Makes total sense. Last week I tried converting my grandmother's recipe as 4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of flour. You know what that is in metric? 105 grams. That's it. No fractions, no memorizing cup to tablespoon ratios, just 105 grams. I helped my neighbour build a deck. Everything here is in clean multiples of 10. A board is 2.4 metres. Need half? 1.2 metres. Need a quarter? 0.6 metres. Meanwhile, I'm calling my dad in the US like, so is that 7/16 of an inch or 9/16? America, we're one of 3 countries not using metric. The other 2? Myanmar and Liberia. That's our squad. We're the flat earthers of measurement. Here's where it actually matters. My friend's dad had a medical emergency on vacation in Italy. The doctors asked his medication dosage. He said, grains. They had no idea what that meant. Precious minutes wasted converting units while the man was dying. This isn't about pride. There is no bill. My buddy Jake in Colorado, same symptoms last year. His bill, $43,000. $43,000 for one night. But sure, their socialist medicine is the problem. Here's what really broke me. I met an American expat named Derek at a barbecue. Type 1 diabetic. Innovation, entrepreneurship, free speech protections. We lead the world in those. But here's what I've learned. American exceptionalism has blinded us to the idea that we might have something to learn from others. The real backwards thinking isn't metric versus imperial or Sunday versus Saturday voting. It's believing we have nothing to learn from anyone else. That's not patriotism. That's ignorance. Every single thing on this list I mocked before I experienced it. Every single thing on this list improved my quality of life. If you're American and you're angry right now, I get it. I was too. Then I asked myself, am I angry because I'm wrong or because I'm being shown uncomfortable truths? Sit with that. Okay, here's what I want from you, Americans. Which one of these would you actually want in the US? Drop the number in the comments. I'm genuinely curious which one hits hardest. Australians, which American thing do you wish you had here? Because I'm doing what America actually does better next week, and I need your takes. Subscribe if you want more uncomfortable expat truth. And if you're thinking about moving here, watch my video on the hidden costs of moving to Australia no one warns you about. Link on screen. Remember, different doesn't mean wrong. Sometimes it means better. Sometimes we're the ones living backwards. And sometimes admitting that is the first step to fixing it. Peace out from the land down under. Now go argue in the comments. That's what I'm here for.